Hi there, my name's Tracy James from Tracy James Hearing, based in Newbury in Berkshire, and here's my colleague Louise, and we're both audiologists. And we thought we'd just make a video just chatting about tinnitus, about our own tinnitus and our own experiences, because it's not something really that many people talk about. So yeah, Louise, so if I tell you first about my tinnitus, I have tinnitus in both ears intermittently, and it moves between both ears actually, and I have certain sounds that I might get in my right ear more often and certain sounds I might get in my left ear more often. So at the moment the tinnitus I have is actually quite strange. It's kind of low pitched. It almost sounds like there's some drilling or some roadworks off in a distance. So like as though there's some construction work happening at the end of the street or something like in the distance. So when I first got it, I actually thought that there was something like that going on, some construction. But actually it's sort of like a drone, and it goes moo, moo. So yeah, it just sort of goes on and on and on like that, and it sort of changes tone a little bit, and that tends to be in my right ear. I don't mind that so much because it's a little bit in the background, although if I'm feeling stressed or tired it can get a little bit worse. And then in my left ear and sometimes in my right, I also get a really high pitched noise, and that tends to be when I'm really quite tired or quite stressed, and it is quite annoying. And as we've talked about before, because we know it's annoying and then I fix on the noise, then I get more annoyed, and then often the tinnitus gets a bit worse, so I have to sort of snap myself out of that. But yeah, it's like up in the top of my ear, just, and it's really loud, and that one isn't very nice.
That would make me annoyed.
Yeah, that one's quite bad. And then for a little while, and I haven't had this one for a while, I'm sure it will come back, I used to have a three-tone tinnitus, where it was like intermittent beeps. It's almost like, and I think it's ironic because I'm an audiologist, where I have, it sounds like I'm doing an audiogram, where I'm doing a hearing test, where I'm going beep, beep, might have to press the button, but it goes, that intermittently comes and goes, that beep, but sometimes with the beep it's discordant with another tone at the same time, so I'll probably have two tones that sound really discordant, so like the worst chord you can play on a piano, you know, if you play really badly. So that's going on, and then I have the beep on top. Now that, although it's not quite as a distressing sound as the high pitched one as we just talked about earlier, that one I find the worst out of all of them, because the change in the tone and the intermittent beep means that my attention is always brought to it, because it's kind of something different. So I find that one really hard to zone out of.
Can I explain to you why that might happen?
If you like.
There is some research that suggests that some people who get tinnitus and who get the varying tones, that sometimes those newer tones can be sounds that are meaningful to them. So, for instance, I developed a different type of tinnitus, which was a car alarm, and that happened about 3 or 4 months after I had problems with my own car alarm. So there is the belief that almost, the theory is that the brain brings back those important sounds. Now, I know that you're musically oriented and you're an audiologist, and so that's probably why that sound happens.
Oh, right, okay. So my career's come back to haunt me, has it?
Exactly.
In my ears. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. What about yours then, Louise?
So, very similar thing to Tracy, and it might be that because we've known each other for a long time, our tinnitus is almost behaving similarly. So I did start with the normal, and occasionally it would go louder, and mine started...
I like the teeth with that, by the way. That's exactly how it makes her feel.
Now, actually, often it's more like a static interference. Like yesterday, I had it all day, and it was like a
Oh, I
you
find
know, like
that one
static.
hard. Yeah.
So, but yesterday I was working from home. I didn't have any other music on or any distractions. So for me, I just kind of turned around to it and said, oh, okay, you're there today, that's fine. I'm just going to go and do my other jobs and I won't notice you. And when I did notice it, I just turned my attention away and went and did other things, to distract myself. Or if you're finding that that's hard to do, and sometimes I do find that a little bit more difficult, then I put on quiet music that's just underneath the tinnitus and find that my attention goes to that. But like you, I have more than one sound, and that's pretty normal. And as I said, now we think that those second sounds might have a relationship with your past. So I think, but just out of curiosity, a lot of people always want to know why their tinnitus started. So Tracy, do you think you know why your tinnitus started?
Yes. So I remember the first time I ever had tinnitus. Oh no, this is going to sound really bad. It was the night before my tinnitus exam in audiology, actually. And I hadn't prepared very well, and I was sort of up late studying.
Highly unusual for Tracy, by the way.
And I sort of drunk a lot of coffee just to keep myself awake that night. So I think I had sort of caffeine stimulants, I had the stress, and I was up late trying to sort of revise for this exam. And the reason why I remember it so vividly is because I thought an alarm had gone off outside. So I thought it was the fire alarm. So as soon as I heard it, I was like looking out the window trying to see if everyone had like sort of started following the fire drill and was moving out the building. And then I was like, well, where's this sound coming from? And I realised it was in my head. So that's why I remember it, because I genuinely thought it was a sound from outside, but actually it'd been generated through that period of stress. And actually it was quite short-lived, that very first instance of tinnitus. I don't think I had it after that evening for some time. And then since then, it's always been linked with tiredness and stress. And as I say, it varies a lot. And because I know about tinnitus, I'm able to manage it okay and know that it's just a symptom rather than an actual problem. But even with all that knowledge, having these different noises does feel a bit strange because it's only personal to you. So I can really feel for those that don't know a lot about tinnitus or have little experience of it, how it might make them feel that there's something really, really wrong when it's not necessarily the case, and unlikely to, because tinnitus is so common. I think 95% of us have experienced it at some point. And you can get it in people with normal hearing as well as those with hearing loss as well. But yeah, I can really, really remember the first time.
So mine was mine started about 10 years ago, and it did happen like you. A stressful life event was going on at the same time, and I remember, and I think a lot of you will understand this, talking to my husband at that point saying, there's a sound there, and he kept saying, no, there isn't. It ended up that there was a wasp nest in the eaves above our bedroom, and that was what was making the noise. But we got rid of the wasp nest and I could still hear the noise. And I think the stress of looking for this noise, but also there were stressful life events going on at that same time, was what started my tinnitus. So different people have different reasons for their tinnitus starting, but stress can be one of those.
Okay, well that was just really, I just thought we'd just have a general chit chat about tinnitus and share our experiences. And if you want to share your experiences with us, by all means get in touch. And thank you for listening.